Our next story takes us here to Seattle, Washington, home of the world's largest aerospace company, Boeing. And as this giant company approaches its 100th anniversary of constantly improving high-performance aviation, it's also at the forefront of improving environmental performance, as you're about to see. For over half a century, the Boeing company has been at the forefront in improving the environmental performance of air travel. Fuel is now the leading operating cost for airlines worldwide, which is why improving fuel efficiency and reducing carbon emissions is the top priority for the aviation industry today.
We've been working on creating sustainable flight for a long time. So if you look at the performance since the jet age in the 1960s, the products we're introducing today are over 70% more efficient from emissions. They consume 70% less fuel. Reducing fuel consumption, reducing emissions, it's good for the community, it's good for the environment, it's also good for our customers.
As the world's largest aerospace company, Boeing is also committed to achieving zero carbon growth through innovation and inspiration by its diverse team of engineers, using the most promising new technologies here at its assembly plant in Seattle, Washington.
We improve the aerodynamic surfaces and the way we design the airplanes through the use of different materials such as composites that you see on the 787 Dreamliner. That also helps make our airplanes more efficient. The airplanes that we're building today will be flown for the next 30 years. So it's critical that we design them in a really efficient way.
For instance, when jetliners were first built, there wasn't much thought given to the materials used or what would happen to an airplane after its service life was over. But today, Boeing is designing jetliners with performance and the environment in mind for its entire life cycle, anticipating how an entire airplane can be recycled before it's even built.
So we want to think about airplanes at end of service, how we recycle those in addition to the scrap in the factory here. How do we put that together to create the highest value material for reuse into the aerospace industry as well as other industries? We'd like to see that material back onto new airplanes. I think we have really big environmental challenges before us, and so we want to answer that with big improvements in fuel efficiency gains. These airplanes here are 20% more fuel efficient than the airplanes they replace. And so we're real excited about offering that environmental improvement into the market.
This has resulted in not only the most environmentally efficient airplanes flying today, but also the most quiet and fuel-efficient family of jetliners ever introduced to the world market, including the 737 MAX, the new Queen of the Skies 747-8, and the revolutionary new 787 Dreamliner, with less noise and the best fuel efficiency of any large passenger plane in the sky today.
This airplane can take off and fly halfway around the Earth. And in the commercial world, that's all you have to do. It doesn't make any sense to be able to fly farther than that. And now we want to see how we can optimize the airplane, because optimization matters. How can we do it and use the least amount of energy to accomplish that task? And always, always, always with safety as the #1 priority.
Boeing is engaged in game-changing innovation and research that promises to make air travel more environmentally efficient, not only in the immediate future through renewable resources like biofuels made from living plants.
To date, over 1,500 both commercial and military flights have taken place with the use of sustainable biofuels. When we say sustainable biofuels, those can be from materials such as grasses or algae or other components. Those things that do not compete with land for food or water sources.
But also innovation for the next 50 years, such as its hydrogen-powered unmanned aircraft called the Phantom Eye, designed to fly 65,000 feet high above any place on Earth for surveillance, reconnaissance, or disaster relief. Boeing's conceptual designs are in collaboration with NASA, such as the futuristic blended wing body that is in the shape of a manta ray.
It resembles a B-2, but in the subsonic transport form, it just looks right. I gave the commencement speech to the engineering school, and I said to the engineers, I said, we've got problems today. Environment, fuel shortage, and this is one of the most exciting times for engineers there's ever been. Just solving the environmental and fuel efficiency problems.
or possibly the first hybrid electric aircraft that combines an entire suite of new technologies, which the Boeing team affectionately calls the Sugar Volt.
What the Sugar Volt is essentially is comparable to a plug-in hybrid electric car. So what we do is we use the electrical power from a set of batteries to supplement the conventional jet engines during takeoff and climb out. And then when we get to cruise, for many cases, we can run completely on electrical battery power. And when we're doing that, then there's no emissions at cruise altitude. So that's a big environmental benefit.
No one really knows what future aircraft will look like, but Boeing is always looking at new ideas to ensure airplanes are more efficient and have a smaller CO2 footprint. This research could very well help define the future of aviation. A future that Boeing expects will be measured by sustainable aircraft like the 787, aircraft with a much smaller carbon footprint.